Hi, welcome to another exciting Friday Night Chats with your host, Garage Geek. I hope everybody had a nice week. I had a nice week because we actually had Thursday off. It was an unassigned day at school. So I went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, went today, and then I have 2 days off. So, other than having a whole week off, that's a pretty sweet deal. I've got so much to chat with you about. A lot of really cool things. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about the things that I have on my list, kind of in order. Now, Wednesday night, I think it was Wednesday night, even though I had Tuesday after school, there, it was pretty bad because on my way home, it took 2 hours and 15 minutes to get home. Here is a photo. You can't really tell the bumper to bumper traffic, but there were helicopters flying around. There were two separate accidents. One of them was really, really bad. And they were just blocking the freeway. And man, 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was exhausted by the time I got home. Just sitting in a car. I got through like 3 hours of a book that I was reading. Plus, I had finished another one during the commute. But it's pretty exhausting to just sit in traffic for 2.5 hours. So there was that happened this week. I want to talk about some TV shows. Yeah, let me talk about the TV shows first. So I saw mostly, except for one. I saw almost everything was Black Mirror, except for this show, and this is The Traitors UK. Now, the Traitors is a show that I reviewed, and I started watching the UK version. I've seen the 3 seasons of. I don't even know if it's British. I don't think it's a British. Yeah, it's a British version, I think. It takes place in Scotland, but I'm pretty sure it's British. Uh, Wait, that doesn't make sense. It must be the American version. Gosh, I have no idea. I think it was the American version, and now this one is taking place in UK, but all of them take place in Scotland. So I think that's why I'm getting confused. But this is The Traitors UK. Now, I watched the 3 seasons of The Traitors. I started watching them with my husband, and he really, really liked it. But then when we started watching some of the other ones, they do the same kind of tasks, and it gets a little repetitive. And so I started watching The Traitors UK with him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this because it's the same thing." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And so he turned it off, and then Scott at No Solution, he wrote me. He was like, "Damn you, you got me hooked on this show." And I was like, "Yeah, I started watching Traders, blah blah blah, UK." And he was like, "No, stick with it. It's really really good. They're way more vicious than the Americans." And so I went ahead and watched the first season, and wow, by the end of the first season, I was kind of emotionally impacted. It got really really intense, and man, you just see the traders at the beginning of every season, no matter what. They're all like, "Yeah, I can't wait to do this. This is gonna be fun," screwing everybody over. But the more they get into it, they're like they really regret it. And some of them by the end, they're like, "Thank God I was caught. It was so horrible lying and treating these people that I really, really felt a strong connection for." Like you really, really start to feel bad for them, and they feel bad. I mean, some of them break down crying when they're by themselves talking to the camera. It's like this huge stress. And it should be. I mean, they're just lying, and like at the beginning, they're all laughing about it and like, "Yeah, I can't wait to do this, blah blah blah." Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's just like the weirdest show, and it's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched one, you should try one season of The Traders just to see what it's like. As far as reality TV shows go, this one is kind of different and pretty interesting. Okay, the rest of the shows that I watched were all Black Mirror. Now, I had forgotten to talk about this one last week, and that was Hotel Reverie. Now, this is an episode that's kind of in the middle of the season. There's only 6 episodes, right? So I think it's either the third or the fourth or the third. And it involves a modern actress entering a movie and playing the part in a movie, and this is going to be like a new kind of streaming thing where modern actors can go in and interact, like say, like, you know, this kind of movie was I think modeled after Casablanca. So imagine a modern actor going into Casablanca and playing the role with all the other people, and that was basically what this was about. Now, so many people online are screaming about how bad the lead is, and how these two have no chemistry whatsoever. It's kind of true. I didn't think the lead was horrible, but I just thought in places she really just stood out. And I get that they were going for a really modern vibe to put into something that's really old, but it was just too much of a clash. And I don't know if it was because of the actress wasn't good, but this actress, the one who played the one she was phenomenal. But yeah, there's so much that kind of goes wrong with this episode that it becomes cringy in parts. So it's going to be one of the, to me, it's almost at the bottom of the pack for this. There was one other episode that I didn't think was that great. However, even though I'm saying that this was, not such a perfect episode, it wasn't bad. It was actually interesting to watch. Like most Black Mirror episodes, they're going to be fun and interesting, and you're going to get ideas from them, even if they're not perfect episodes. But then came the episode Eulogy. And wow, was I blown away. This is probably the best episode, or at least one of the best episodes of Black Mirror in all of its seasons. And I think this is season 7. So this stars Paul Giamatti. And wow, does he command this episode. This is like watching a master actor just consume a role. He takes you on an emotional journey, and you get so invested in his character, and he's so flawed. Like, he's playing such a pretty nasty. He's not nasty. He's just a character who has made a lot of bad mistakes in his youth, and he's very bitter in his old age, and he's given the opportunity to step back into old photos and to bring the photos to life. And this starts this whole like journey of him examining his past. Now, there is a twist in the episode that I saw coming a mile away. Didn't matter. It's such a good episode. So I'm going to say, if you've never watched Black Mirror, you have to watch this episode, and you have to watch Common People, the first episode of the season. But both of these are pretty sad. Like, I was pretty emotionally impacted by Eulogy with because of Paul Giamatti's performance. Man, is this a good episode. And then we have the final episode, which is the USS Callister into... Oh, wait, here's a picture for Common People, which I reviewed last Friday or the Friday before. That one is just so good. So depressing, though. So we have USS Callister into infinity. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's been a long time since I saw the USS Callister, and this is a direct sequel to it. So I went ahead and rewatched the first one, and I'm so glad I did, because I didn't remember anything about it. Although there is a recap at the beginning. And so here is the USS Callister. I think it was from season 3 or season 4. And this is a very kind of twisted world where there is a man who is a genius. He's just a genius, but he's taken advantage of, and he creates this online gaming system, and he also takes a pocket portion of it, and he's able to enter it, and he plays God with his characters, and he has outlawed tech that allows him, if he can collect DNA samples, he can create digital replicas of the people that he gets the DNA from in this world. And anybody who wrongs him at work, he creates a replica of, and he just pretty much tortures them in that world. There's another episode similar to this where they were making digital slaves, which that was a really good episode too. I don't remember the name of it, but I seem to remember. I think it had John Hamm in it. But I'm not telling you everything about this episode, how it ends. But this is a direct sequel to this, and that's where the characters who were trapped in that episode, they escape and they have free reign in that digital realm, but they have to compete to stay alive with all the online players, and they have to get ways of getting credits. And so what they have to do is they have to become bandits and rob real players, but also stay in the shadows because they need the credits to survive in the online game. And it goes from there. That's kind of the beginning. This is a lot of fun. I enjoyed both episodes. And it also had the actress from Penguin, and I think, and Palm Springs. She's really good. I really like her. However, the people online were saying that this was not their favorite episode. Some of them were ranking it as part of some of the worst. And they were also saying that because it's comedy related, a lot of people want pathos with their Black Mirror episodes. I disagree. I think one or two upbeat episodes per season doesn't hurt their image. I mean, you can have. I mean, there's a lot of really dark passages in that episode, but overall, it's lighthearted in a sense. I guess it's tragic, but it's more of a comedy because it ends well, kind of thing. But I disagree. I think if you like Star Trek, first of all, or if you like sci-fi shows, you're going to enjoy these two episodes. They're just fun, whereas the other ones can be so unrelentingly bleak. And I mean, we got two really bleak episodes this season. Why not have a little bit of fun in the middle? Oh, actually, this was the last episode of the season. So I recommend those of the whole season. The Common People, Eulogy, and USS Callister. I enjoyed that one. The one Bête Noire, I think it was called Bête Noire. That one was pretty good too, which I also described in my last episode. And then there's just a couple that I would stay away from. I would stay away if you only want to see the best episodes. I would stay away from the other ones. The one that is related to the Bandersnatch, and then the one about the Hotel Reverie one. Yeah, I mean, you could stay away from that one, although it has interesting ideas in it about, like, where does entertainment go, and that is one direction it could go in. Okay, after that, I read 3 comics, and they were all independent. So I want to show off these comics and talk a little bit about them. Spoiler, I didn't really enjoy them too much. So I have these 3 comics. The first one I bought because of the cover. I thought the cover was really fun, and I actually ended up buying 3 or 4 issues of this. Now, this is from Fantagraphic Books. This is called The Adventures of Captain Jack, and this is number 5. And it is adult-oriented in a way because, I mean, there is sex and that kind of thing. This is a black and white comic, and I'm just going to say that it wasn't bad, but I didn't see the point of it. The only female character, if you could see her shirt is really tight and you could see her nipples. And maybe over time it changes. I don't know. I didn't kind of see the point. The art is nice. I did like the art. But the story, yeah. I know I'm not giving a very good review of this comic. I will read one or two of the others to see if, because I'm jumping into the fifth issue of this. Well, what happens is it takes place on another planet where the crew of this ship, they land in basically a farm on another planet, and how they interact with the farmers, and one of the crewmen falls in love with the farmer's daughter. I don't know, maybe it sounds cliche, whatever. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it that much, but I'm not saying it's horrible. It wasn't horrible. I expected more from that independent comic, especially since it was from Fantagraphics. Then the next one is Don Simpson's Bizarre Heroes number 6. And I got this solely for the wacky art. Let me open this and show it to you. So here we got this. I mean, it's just fun and wacky art. And this one is also black and white. This one was a little bit more fun. It parodies superheroes with all these like weird names. I don't know. And then at a certain point, it turns sideways. Again, this was... Oh, Megaton Man is one of the characters. I mean, look at Megaton Man's face. I mean, what does that look like to you? I don't know. It's just weird, more adult-oriented comics. This one shoots this like 3 giant missiles, and then there's another one where that same character has like this giant penis gun. Let me go ahead and show that to you. I mean, because why wouldn't you want to see that? Here he is. He's like this robot with this like giant penis gun. And I don't know, it's silly, and it's supposed to be silly, but again, I'm dropping into issue number 6. I don't know if overall this is a great series. I did enjoy the art. It was just silly. And I don't know if... I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I would necessarily want to get all of them. And then finally, I got this issue of Alley Oop. Alley Oop. Now, this is Alley Oop Adventures number 1. And so this was, to me, it just felt like reading Sunday comics, like the Alley Oop Sunday comics put into a comic book form. So there's going to be the art is fine from Alley Oop, and there's one longer, I mean, some longer stories kind of, and then but a lot of like short comics, 1-pagers that you'd find, like in a Sunday comic. I don't know. I actually expected this one to be much better. Not horrible. It was entertaining. I just thought it would be better. I thought it would be funnier. So yeah, 3 comics, and I'm just giving lukewarm reviews to all 3, which is kind of sad. Unfortunately, I did buy more of each one of these comics, and so I've got more to read. And then if ultimately I don't like them, I'm going to have to give them to somebody. But I gave them bad reviews, so now, like, who do I give them to? Like, somebody I don't like? I like everybody. Garage Geek likes everybody. All right, after that, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and I'm going to talk about 2 books that I read. So I read 2 crime novels. And so the first one is The Executioner number 2. And this one was called Death Squad. So by Don Pendleton. So Mac, I think his name is Mac Bolan, is after the mafia for what he did, for their role in the death of his family. And so he's very much like Mr. E said, he's the Punisher was based off this character. So In this book, he goes to LA, and everywhere he goes, like the mafia is after him. They know his friends, where he would go, so they're all set up everywhere he goes. So he looks up a bunch of his old buddies from Vietnam, and he forms this death squad, and he goes after the lead people in the mafia that way. Now, this book wasn't as good as the first, and I'm going to say it's probably because instead of acting alone, he formed a team. It just seemed to be too. There were too many cliches in this, all about this hoo-ha, and they have this excuse me, Vietnam mentality, war in the streets, kind of. They're going to stick together, semper fi, fight till you die kind of attitude. And I saw the ending coming a million miles away. I knew it had to end that way. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but who's going to really read these books? But having said that, I did still enjoy it, and I'm hoping that at the end of this book, there's not going to be a death squad anymore, and I'm hoping he goes solo again. I think that will be hopefully that will be a return to form, even though this is only the second book, but not a bad book at all. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't as good as the first. And then I read, I think this is the 5th book in the series by Lawrence Block, 8 Million Ways to Die. So this is a Matthew Scudder book. And this series continues to be very strong. Matthew Scudder is an alcoholic. He's trying to give up drinking. He's investigating a crime. There was one element of the book that I thought was hokey, but other than that, it's who he has to work for. So he's hired by a good pimp to investigate the murder of one of his prostitutes. The whole good pimp thing in this book just didn't make sense to me. But okay. But what's fascinating about this is the character study of the actual detective himself. Now, he's not literally a detective. He does investigate, but he does it off books. He doesn't have a license. People just give him donations in order to do his work. But he's really good at what he does. But he's suffering from being an alcoholic, and he's going to meetings, and he goes on and off, and he goes on benders where he can't remember what he's done. And this is the crux of this book, the character fighting with being an alcoholic. If you strip away the crime elements of this, if you just follow what this character has to go through because of being an alcoholic, you've got a really, really strong novel here that shows what it's like for someone with an addiction like this. I've never suffered through something like that, so I can only imagine what that's like. And this writer makes me understand it a little bit better. The writer does a great job in that sense. So this is, like I said, the fifth book that I've read in this series, and I'm still really enjoying it. And that's Lawrence Block's 8 Million Ways to Die. I read a couple more things, but before I continue with that, why don't I show off some things that I got to kind of just break it up. So I bought some playing cards. Like, I need more playing cards, right? So I'm going to start with this set. This arrived today, and this is called The Horror Movie Playing Cards. And here's the back. So basically, this is a set of movie posters on playing cards. And each one is different. And these are the best ones, the ones with these close-ups, right? These are great. But also all of the movie posters. Now, if there's one thing that I'm going to say I don't like is there's too much space around it. Although they do use that space to give you the title, right, of it. Oh, here are the back of the playing cards. But Really, really cool. I think what I would like to do is make a short with all the cards and just go through them and then speed it up and then add it to the end of one of my videos. By the way, I got that idea from Sleepy. Thank you, Sleepy. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So, fun deck of cards. Did I need to spend $12 on them? No, but I did. So, what you going to do? Okay, next, I got this set of cards. I was really interested in this. They keep popping up. And it's got the most interesting tuck case. It's just a cardboard box, and they put a sticker on the front and the back. And each set has its different sticker on it. And this one, I believe, was crime movies. Action movies, film noir. And so when you pull it out of the box, you're just going to get all of these movies, from, crime. And a lot of them have Italian, like they're from the Italian, like this one, Doppio Bersaglio. Is that what that says? Yeah, Bersaglio. But notice how even though they, oh no, they don't. Do they? I'm not sure. But notice how the art on these are bigger than the other one. So I kind of prefer this. And yeah, I mean, just really cool. I should probably do another show. Now, as I was going through these, I realized how many movies I haven't seen in this genre. Man, there's a lot of them. Here's one with Dean Martin in it called Mr. Rico. Maybe that's the Italian one. I don't know. And Crybaby Killer. Here's one. La Familia Assassina di Ma Barker. So I'm not sure what the title of that is in English, but Ma Barker's Killer Family. I'm not sure. But there's so many of these movies that I need to see. I can't believe what gaps I have in my film history. And I haven't seen any of these movies or many of them. Now, initially, I did not like the tuck case, but it's kind of endearing to me. I like how they just, this is a company that is, trying to put out a product. They probably, don't have, as much money for this one. Like, this is a cool tuck case, right? But I kind of like that. And I like this company. I think I'm going to buy some more of their cards. They have a whole bunch. They have a sci-fi set, which I think I'm going to buy. Okay, I bought this giant thing that's behind us. And this is to put completed puzzles in. 1,000-piece puzzles. And so I bought the Mod Podge. This set came with glossy and matte. And so I get to try them both. And it also came with the little applicators. So I'm going to show you a picture of a 1,000-piece puzzle that I completed. And man, that was difficult. I chose a really difficult one. It took me, I think, 2 days to finish it. And let me find it. And the reason it was so difficult is it basically has 3 colors. So here's the puzzle. I did this Wolfman. And, it's 1,000-piece, so it's pretty big. And I have it over there, and I'm ready to, put the Mod Podge on it so that I can try this book out. But, I mean, if you look at it, honestly, it has 3 colors. And normally, the letters are easy. These letters were hell. I think I talked about this last week. This part was really, really easy. And this part was really, really, really easy. But overall, this was an extremely difficult puzzle. But I'm ready to Mod Podge it or whatever, glue it together, and then try this out. Now, my friend recommended that I don't do that. I'm just gathering more stuff to keep. And when I told my husband I want to do that, and he's like, "What, more trash?" And I'm like, nobody sees my vision. No one. All right, so I'm totally into puzzling. I I also made this puzzle this week, but that's just a 300 piece one. And I actually filmed myself doing it, and I sped it up. And I asked Sleep Abby, like, what should I do? Should I put it in the middle of the video and talk over it? I'm like, that's kind of clunky. And he was like, why don't you just put it at the end, and then if people want to watch it, they can. So I spent an hour and 40 minutes on this, and then when I sped it up, it comes down to a minute and a half. So I'll add that to the end of one of my videos, and then if you want to watch it, you can. But I've been watching a lot of online puzzlers, and a lot of them are speed puzzlers, and they take part in world competitions. And so watching them do the puzzles, they always film themselves, and they add it to the video and talk. And then I think it's fascinating to watch the puzzle, be put together like super fast. So, but that's just me. I don't know. You can, if you've never watched one of those puzzling videos, you can watch the end of one of my next videos, and then you'll see if you like it or not. Here's an example of the early stage of this puzzle. You can see I did the moon outline, and then this I did last. It was the hardest. And then I did that, and I did those. Those letters took me forever. But look at how much I still have to do, and it's all basically red and brown. It was really hard. And then I bought this. I bought this table. So when I came home from work, this puzzle table was waiting for me. I started to put together, and some screws are missing. So there are two types of screws. They only sent me one type, so I had to write the company. I'm missing the long screws. And I was so looking forward to using this and starting a new puzzle. I actually went after school. There was somebody selling a bunch of puzzles on, Whatnot. I think that's not Whatnot. Anyways, like Facebook Marketplace, one of those type of app things. And I went on, and I got some really, really nice puzzles for like $5 each. So I got a bunch of puzzles, really nice ones, like I already said. I'm very excited. I wanted to start one today, but without that table, I'm not going to start a 1,000-piece puzzle, because with that table, it also has like a sheet that you could put on, a plastic sheet you can put on top, and then you don't have to worry about finishing it in one session. I did read some more comics. So let me go ahead and talk about some Justice League comics that I read. Now, I'm reading this, the Justice League of America, DC Finest, from 1966 to 1969. And I'm only like 5 or 6 issues into it. And man, am I having fun. This is so much fun. Now, I actually read a couple of the issues, I don't know, like a month or so ago. The first issue, I'm going to talk about them briefly. So the first one is number 45, where they're fighting the Shaggy Man. And this is, I think, a 2 issue run. It's pretty funny. So they're fighting this Shaggy Man, and here he is. He runs off, and basically this thing never stops fighting. No matter what, it won't stop. It won't ever stop. And so they don't know what to do with him, because he just, no matter what, he won't stop. And he keeps fighting. Now, half of the Justice League is sent to take care of that one. And then the other half is sent to take on this like octopus creature. And this burst me up. So Batman is fighting with the creature, and he gets crunch. Okay, fine. Then Wonder Woman she's fighting this creature, and she gets splooged. Look at her. Sploosh. And it's like, it shoots her, and all the like water's flying, and she gets thrown backwards like that. I'm like, okay, this is a goddess. She's so powerful. Batman gets crunch, and she gets splooged. I'm like, what is going on here? These comics are so hilarious. Like, why does poor Wonder Woman have to get splooged? With like, I can't do this. Poor Wonder Woman got splooged. I like that. Oh, and that's not all. Like the way they talk to her is hilarious. They're basically saying, "Okay, can you be quiet now?" Like they talk so down to her in these issues. It's not even funny. So after we get that, we get this weird issue where it's called the bridge between worlds, and there's like literally two earths coming together, and there's this giant um guy, and he's got to span the earths to keep them apart, and it's just so strange but fun. And in between that whole thing, Solomon Grundy is like beating everybody up, and then there's this other guy who's like, look at him, he like smacks the hell out of everybody. And so the way they get them, and then there's this other guy, he's like beating everybody up, and they finally, what happens is they always get separated. And then they do something, and then they finally come back together. And what they do is they get Solomon Grundy and this guy to like reverse love each other. And that just stops them from being mean. I've got to find that. It's pretty hilarious. Oh, so wait, is this the guy that's spanning the earths? I mean, oh, like, so wait, it's not, wait, what's that guy's name? I can't remember. Dr. Spectre? Yeah, well, he's like literally spanning two Earths while this guy is walking across them, and they've got to stop him before the guy gets the other Earth. Or I don't know. I read it a while ago. But I want to show you, oh, here they are. They're like loving each other and happy, and they're loving the Justice League now. It's just hilarious. So much fun. Okay, so then I read, I think yesterday I read, was it a two issue? I keep saying episode. 2 issues where, oh no, it wasn't a 2 issue thing. Maybe it was. I don't know. So there's the thread of the true or false sorcerer. So basically, this guy is trying to get out of jail, and he accidentally clones himself. So now there's 2 of them. And of course, each part of the Justice League, they have to go off and fight one of them. And they have to figure out which one is the real one, because they're on the time crunch. Because the fake one is only going to last a certain time. And when he explodes, he takes all of creation with them. Like, everyone will die. And it's kind of funny. So, I mean, yeah. But the one thing I wanted to show you is that the creatures are made of magic. And so Superman comes up and smashes this one. And then his hand... his hand becomes all smashed up because he tried to hit him with magic. And then in the next one, he's like, zonk, or whatever that sound effect is, zonk. These issues are really fun and really funny. Look, a giant leprechaun guy comes up. You never know what you're gonna find in these. There he is, a giant leprechaun guy. Yeah, so they end up saving the day. Oh, Batman has to fight these chicks who are they're like literally trees. But look at their little faces in the trees. I think they're like naiads or dryads or whatever. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just so much fun. Look, Batman's getting hit by a guy with antlers. There's all kinds of random wackiness and craziness in these comics. Oh, I was in the middle of one. I didn't finish it. But this one is about the Lord of Time. And he's trying to, do something with the Justice League. That was really vague. But, I mean, look at these covers and these splash pages. So much fun. I'm really having a blast reading these. So, I've got this. This arrived today as well. So I bought this issue of the Paperback Fanatic, especially because it has a section about where is it? I'm drawing a blank on his name. And Charles Williams. No, that's not him. Oh, here it is. A visual guide to Robert McGinnis. So they have this huge section about this man who just died. My friend wrote to me, and he's got his art is like really cool, and he did all these Dell paperbacks, and yeah, it's going to be interesting trying to hunt some of these down. I actually made 2 orders for books, and I also bought one of his art books. It's coming because I want to kind of do a review of them. But man, this looks like it's going to be an interesting read. This book is this is one of the older issues, issue 43. They went into a new format, but this is really nice. And so I'm stuttering a lot in this episode. I will do a deeper dive into Robert McGinnis, but I did buy some books from the Mike Shane that he originally illustrated, but unfortunately I got later versions. But I found this 4-book set, and I was just like, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, look at these covers. They're just great. They're not as good as the art ones, but I got all of these for about $10 or $11 with shipping including, and that's a little expensive. So $2 to $3, $2.50 to $3 per book maybe. But I did it, and I actually bought some more, and a couple of them have the original art, so I'm going to be showing those in another episode. Now, I went to the free book drop, and this was on it. Persona by Igmar Bergman. I'm looking forward to really watching this. I think I'm stuttering a lot because I didn't bring a cough drop, and my throat is hurting. I gotta realize I need my cough drops when I do this. Okay, what do we got? So now I'm going to talk about some short stories that I read. Okay, I got all of this to talk about. So I finally finished these 2. So I'm going to talk about those. And I have 2 more in this series. Right? And so I was reading, I wanted to finish this one first because this is the one I bought. This is Lafcadio Hearns of Ghosts and Goblins, and I've read most of these before in another version. I really enjoyed this. This is all Japanese ghost stories. People without heads, and I don't know. There's just each one of these stories. None of them are bad. They're fun. They kind of show ghost stories in a different tradition. They don't play out like ghost stories of the West. And so that's why I think reading something like this is really, really interesting. And a lot of them are very short. Next, I finished this book of short stories by O. Henry, The Gift of the Magi. Now, the last couple ones that I read, he's known for his surprise endings. These were really good. And the best one, though, from the ending that I read was A Retrieved Reformation. Now, this is a story I've actually read a few times because it's been in the kids' textbooks. Now, I haven't seen it in a textbook in a long time. And so when I was reading this, it was kind of fresh. But man, is that a good story. It actually has an emotional impact. So there is a master safe cracker who gets out of jail, picks up his tools, and he just starts going on a spree. He settles in a town, and he's about ready to safe crack the bank when he sees the bank owner's daughter, and he falls in love. And so he decides to go, I hate to say go straight, but he stops what he's doing. Meanwhile, there's somebody who's been following him, his trail, and trying to find him, to take him to jail. He's a detective. But, the safecracker doesn't do it anymore, but there's this big opening at the bank. They bought a brand new safe, and it's time locked, and one girl locks another girl inside, and it won't open for 24 hours. And he's got to make a decision because the guy who's on his trail is there, and nobody knows him to be a safecracker. He's gone legit. So he's got to make a decision, blow his cover and save the girl or let the girl die and, be able to maintain his facade. I won't give it away. I think it's a very good ending. It's a very great story. I hadn't read it in so long, and it was a joy to read that story. But like Gift of the Magi and the Last Leaf and A Retrieved Reformation, these three stories are famous for reasons. They're really, really good. Having said that, other stories in here were really good too. I'm glad that I read them all. There was one, A Chaparral Christmas Gift, about so there's two men that love a woman. They're ranchers. So the woman picks one guy, and the other guy is so angry he becomes an outlaw, and he wants revenge, and he shoots up the party, and I think he kills somebody at the party, and that's why he goes on the run, and so he becomes this outlaw. Now it turns into a Christmas story of love and sacrifice, and it was actually pretty good. I read his other story, of course, which is The Gift of the Magi. And this one was really good too. It's got a really interesting Christmas message. The third ingredient was also a kind of fun story about a poor woman who meets a rich man. And it's kind of like... I just thought of this. It's like Cinderella, where he's looking through the city. The rich man is looking through the city to find this woman, and there's an intermediary, and there's also a stew being made, and all they need are 3 ingredients. It was a pretty fun story. So finished that one. I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I finished something that I started. I finished 2 things I started. So now I've already started Oscar Wilde, The Star Child, and then I'm going to be moving into Jorge Luis Borges, The Library of Babel. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I actually have his Penguin, 1 or 2 of his Penguin collections, and that's why I decided to buy this. So I'll probably be reading all 3 at the concurrently. But I am going to talk about another Oscar Wilde story that I read. This I don't know if you remember, but I talked about an Oscar Wilde, The Happy Prince, and that was, to me, it felt like a masterpiece. It was so well written, so many themes, so many ideas explored. And then I read the second one called The Nightingale and the Rose, and bam, it was another amazingly written story. I don't think it was as good as The Happy Prince, but it was still very, very good. And this is the story of a bird who hears about a young man's desire to provide a red rose for his love, because she says that she will dance with him if he can provide her with a red rose. Here's an illustration of this. So the only way that he can create a red rose is with his own blood. And the thorn must go deeper and deeper into the heart of the bird in order to paint the rose red. Now, the ending of this story is quite a slap in the face. After you've read about the sacrifice and the love that this man has for the woman, and then you read the ending and it's like, wow. I'm not going to tell you what the ending is. I'm hoping some of you out there will actually go and read it. But it is quite a slap in the face when you read this ending. And then I was reading some of the online reviews, and one of them was hilarious. I actually took a picture of it, and and I forgot to transport it over. I transport it like whatever we on the Enterprise. I forgot to like beam it over. What do you call it when you move it from the phone to your iPad? I forgot to beam it over. I forgot to cloud it. What do you call that? I'm gonna get over it. You know what I mean. So I forgot to put the picture on my iPad, and it said something like, "Damn you, Oscar Wilde! You made me cry in this story." Blah blah blah, and they were like really mad because of the ending and that it was so sad and everything. But it was just a funny review because you read these reviews where people are like, they say what a horrible writer they are because they had an actual emotional response that was negative, and that's somehow a testament of bad writing. And they're like, "Damn you, Oscar Wilde! I hate you, da da da, and for making me cry and blah blah blah." Now, I didn't go so far as to cry, but it is a really really good story. So I'm still enjoying my foray into these short stories, but that wasn't the last one. This book has been on my shelf forever. I've read a couple of the stories. Way back, I talked about how Nightfall, I thought, was a masterpiece by Isaac Asimov. And so I've read some of the other stories in here, and they've all been great. Nothing as good as Nightfall. So this book really starts off with a bang. It's like that's the best story. I still think that if you've never read anything by Asimov, you should read that story. It is so good. But I read another one, and it was called, what was it called? Breeds There a Man. And this story was so compelling. Like, I kept being interrupted, and I just wanted to get back to the story. There, he actually there are introductions to this, and he talks about how he actually puts one sci-fi writer down. It's pretty funny. He says, da, 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 where is it? I really want to find that. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really want to find it. It's really funny that he would actually like put down another sci-fi writer in this introduction. But he oh, it was Neville Shoots the Beach. I remember that now. And he says like people are just jumping on the topicality of issues because people were afraid of nuclear war. He says it would be so easy to just write a story about nuclear devastation and blah blah blah, jump on the bandwagon like Neville Shute did and hit. I mean, he, like, called him out. It was pretty funny. So he said I wanted to write about this topic from a different angle, and he did. So he wrote this story about a really brilliant scientist who can see things that other people can't. And so he can automatically look at a problem and see the solution where it would take people months or even years to figure out. Like, he's like, and he has, but the problem is he doesn't have any social connections with anyone. He's and he treats everybody as inferior because they pretty much are. Like, his mind is so advanced that he, like I said, he sees things, and when he sees them, he just walks away because he's like so disgusted to like how do you not see the answer? It's like right in front of you. And so because of his mindset, he doesn't have any interactions with humans, and he becomes mentally unbalanced, and he believes that we are all experiments in aliens laboratories. And he talks about the rise and fall of civilizations, and he says this is like us putting chemical reagents or reactors into a petri dish of amoebas or I don't know, germs or whatever, and then watching them. And he says like they're manipulating us, and they're watching us, and they're just like the lifespan of an amoeba is microseconds or whatever, and we can watch them, or minutes. to those immortals, our lifespans of 100 years is like nothing. And so they're watching our progress to, like an experiment. And it's a compelling idea. And the whole story is based around him needing to get better because he's 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 in an asylum and they need him back in the lab to work on a force field that can stop atomic bombs. And so they need him because it's a race. And so they're trying to get the psychiatrist to help him through this neurosis. Now, this whole story was written in such a really interesting way. The ending doesn't live up to the rest of the story, but it doesn't actually have to, because the book was so, I mean, the story was so well written and kept you going through that sometimes it's hard to really pull off a good ending all the time. And it's not always necessary because so many of the ideas along the way are so really, really interesting. I also like that he didn't do this like Twilight Zone episode where at the end we pull back and we see aliens like, you know, doing experiment. He didn't do anything like that. He left it open-ended, like, is this guy really crazy? Is he so brilliant that he sees what everyone else can't see? Oh, and no, I'm not going to talk about the suicide aspect of it. So it goes deeper into that, but I'm not going to bring that up. If you're interested in what I said about the story, so good. I'm enjoying every story that I've read so far in this Isaac Asimov Nightfall collection. Okay, I'm going to scan my notes to see if I forgot anything. But I don't think I did. I think that is it. And this is the longest episode I've done in a long time. So I really talked a lot. As always, your comments are very much appreciated. And I know some of you don't like longer episodes, but actually some of you really do. So this one is just one of the longer ones. Sorry about that. But I want to wish everybody a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.